Hello and welcome to the show. For today's Hot Wheels Showdown, I'm hoping we have something that is less deadly than the Renault 5 Turbo. We got the much requested Ford Sierra Cosworth. I don't think I've actually used this car in any of my build series on Horizon 3, so it is about time we had a go with the Sierra. And if it's any good, we can sort of complete an utter domination of touring cars at the top of the table with this Hot Wheels track. We are going to, first of all, start off with the tyres. We are going to put it onto the Hot Wheels race compound that's going to jump the PI up halfway through A-Class. It's a good sign. 245s on the front, probably to be expected. It's, ooh. Okay, that's not great. Only 245s on the rear as well. They're not particularly big tyres on this car in comparison, certainly to the likes of the M3. It's going to have to get mighty grip elsewhere if it is going to be capable of some good enough lap times. So we are, of course, going to have to run with the Forza Aero. I'm sorry for taking off the huge wing at the back. As cool as it is, I need the extra downforce. It's as simple as that. I need the extra downforce from a Forza wing. We will grab brakes. We will grab weight reduction as well. It's at £2,700 to begin with, which is not the worst. It's not the most horrendous amount of weight that we've had to deal with. I mean, the CTSV, for example, went quickly and was considerably heavier. Do we want to go? I think we do, really. We're not going to have I don't think we're going to have the grip. The tyres aren't big enough to perhaps compensate enough in the same way. We will go and grab a sport gearbox in this. Likewise, we'll get the race diff, and then we throw power at the car. Now, engine swap wise, if we can't get the car standard engine to top of S1 class, we have Turbo Rally, we have i6, and we have 5.8 litre V8. It's a nice engine, heavy, but it is a nice engine to have the option for, so that is there if it is needed. Guess we're just going to chuck on some of the big parts and see if we can get enough power. Now, ideally, we're going to be needing 500 horsepower, 600 horsepower probably to stand much of a chance here, certainly. I mean, the Impreza, I think, was one of the least powerful cars that went around with about 400 horsepower, but that was a touch heavier than this. I think that was about 2,500 pounds-ish. It's not quite going to do it. We have already got the turbo upgraded. It's not going to do it with the other odds and ends that could get thrown in. So, our big options are, okay, Turbo Rally, as much as I like the engine, pretty useless for this particular challenge, as we won't be able to get enough power out of it. The 3.2 i6 is the lighter of the two options by a couple of £100, but I doubt we're going to get the power in that. Although, are we going to have the grip to make the most of the extra power? I don't know. I think for this one, we're going to grab the i6. I'm going to have a little play around, and we're going to see just what I can get power-wise out of this car. If we can't get 600 horsepower out of this car and have it in S1 class, then I think we will go for the heavier but more powerful of the two engines. If we get if we get 600, we get near 600 in this car while keeping the vehicle a little bit lighter, I am okay. Yeah, I'm okay with going for this as an option. I think this should provide us plenty in the way of speed. What I might just do is if we go one stage down on these and then get PI in other places as well. Okay, we are looking pretty good, in fact, with the Sierra. 667 horsepower, 509 torque in a relatively light car. Statistic-wise, good potential. My issue, I fear, is going to be a lack of grip. I don't think we're going to have the rear end grip. I don't think it's going to be as twitchy, as horrible as the Renault 5, but it is likely to slip and slide its way around the course. We shall see, though. Maybe, just maybe, I will be wrong. So, for this epic touring car showdown, we have come to the skyscraper takeoff circuit. If the Sierra wants to be getting to the top of the table, a 133.7 is the time to try and beat the BMW M3, a 33.9 from the Mercedes 190e. We want to be going sub 134. which is easier said than done. I think this will likely be a lot more manageable than the Renault Death Machine, but I'm not sure we're going to have the rear end grip. Yeah, it's a little bit on the wiggly side. The Sierra is definitely not going to be flat out through turn 3. That is very, very keen. It's quite controllable, quite manageable when you're not a moron. Don't dip the wheel over the edge there. It never ends well. But it isn't going to be a car that's flat out through turn 3 or up through turn 4 there. We are going to have to manage it a little bit more. That's not surprising, though, let's face it. With the tyres that we've got on the car, it was never likely to have the grip of an NSX, sort of full race-clad NSX anyway. But it is something that we've got to bear in mind. There is some grip from the rear, though, through that long sweeping turn, and the sort of acceleration, 171 miles an hour. It's only 6 or 7 miles an hour down on the Gremlin, which was, I think, similar weight to this, had 1,000 horsepower in the AMC. And this is only a fraction down in terms of acceleration there. That's some good going. That's some very good going indeed, and I would expect this to be the significantly faster car through the corners. How will it fare in terms of top speed? Ooh, we've twisted ever so slightly on the takeoff. That's not going to go well. Oh, we got away with that. Sorry, Sierra, for the bump nose, but I don't even know why we twisted there. We definitely didn't hit a cone. I was very much in the middle of the... That's a peculiar one. Well, it's not going to be a astounding opening lap from the Sierra. That very much screwed us over. But we didn't go swimming, at least, which is something. It's still a 38.7, despite having got into massive, massive trouble at the loop. Oh, carefully does it around that turn 2 area. Now, can we get through? That's more like it. Oh, wiggle. I was a little bit keen to get to full throttle, needed to be a tad more patient in the Sierra. There is actually more rear-end grip than I was expecting from this car, considering how tiny the rear tyres are in comparison to some of the other vehicles that we have seen go. I mean, the CTSV, the Gremlin, had slightly more power than this car, but considerably bigger tyres. The Renault had bigger tyres than this and was horrible for spinning the rears and generally getting oversteer. So the chassis in this, I say the chassis in this is fantastic. That's hardly a surprise. We all know how good the Sierra Cosworth was/is. And I'm glad to say that this is a very, very nice car to be driving around here. Hot Wheels Showdown this track certainly has proven an interesting challenge when it comes to building a car. Because a lot of the build series that I've done in the past, just sheer power has been... That's a good run off the boost pads, 208 miles an hour. Sheer power has been the way to go. It doesn't work here. You need enough grip for all of the medium speed corners. But if you don't have enough acceleration, if you don't have enough straight line speed for this part of the track, then it is no good either. We saw with the NSX and with the Porsche. Oh, didn't shift down. That was, yeah, okay. So, 35.3, a silly, clunky mistake out of the final corner for me. And we had an L. That includes a trip across the grass, or a trip across the sand to do a 35.2. That shows some real potential with this Sierra. Yeah, got to be a little bit patient getting it through turn 3, because it is more than happy to get very sideways and a little bit slower through turn 4. But yeah, as I say, with the building of the car, trying to find that perfect balance is an interesting challenge around this circuit. I'm thoroughly enjoying. Actually, proved to be. I didn't think we would get a series as close as we had with the hill climb monsters. I think the hill climb cars were a tad closer, but this has been pretty bloody good for what is a rather different sort of challenge in terms of building cars and so on. I pushed my luck too much. And the braking, and certainly what I set out, didn't really know what the Hot Wheels tracks were going to be like. We've got 2 more laps. Sort of a little bit of scruffiness, couple of silly errors by me have not really given the car a true competitive lap time as of yet, as we go across onto... not a good run that time at all off the boost pad. Don't know what we did differently there. We'll try and aim for getting the mid... Well, I say the mid. Between the middle boost pad and the right boost pad. We can run with sort of one wheel either side, or one set of wheels on either one. That does seem to be the way to go, but it is very, very difficult to position. But you're a very high speed. You get it wrong, and it is swimming time for the Ford. And we do only have a couple of laps to try and extract a lap time out of the car patient on the way into turn 3. Focus on getting a good run out of the corner. We can do that. We know that the Sierra has got the power, has got the acceleration around here. Likewise up through turn 4. Just a little bit of patience required. Otherwise the car will be more than happy to spin up those rear wheels. Oh, I don't think we've maybe not quite got the turn in through that corner. We've seen 140 miles an hour with the 190E. I think it might just about be doable with the Sierra here. It's a little bit more uncomfortable. Brakes very, very good. Again, we're up to that 170 mile an hour mark. And out of the crossover section we go. The very long gear ratios of the cars here are helping, I think, with the high-powered rear-wheel drive vehicles and to an extent the front-wheel drive cars as well. By having to have such long gear ratios because, well, we do that 220 mile an hour end to the lap, it means that on some of these more technical sections, first and second are so long that the car is not having so much wheel spin. It is helping. That's why I'm okay with running these cars with 5-speed gearboxes. It's working perfectly well, and with the longer gear ratios, it's actually helping the cars out in some respects. Right, into the final corner we go. It was a better lap, but it wasn't a perfect lap from the Ford. Oh, it's a 33.9. We need just a couple of tenths of a second. If we can find that here, we can go top. I think it's like 0.02 of a second currently slower than the Mercedes. Oh, that was absolutely lovely through turn 3. Now, turn 4, let's not get oversteer as we rise over this crest. Just nicely does it, firing it in to the split section across the crest there. We're not getting wheel spin either. Slow it down. Oh, that's a lot of speed through there in the Sierra. Oh, we've carried so much speed through there. I ran a little bit deep into the next turn. You can get away with it. You can kind of try and focus on getting a good exit to that corner into our narrow crossover section. Get the change of direction right. Don't spin the wheels. Don't slide the car around. And the Sierra is okay to accelerate away from there. Few more turns to go in the Ford. Be patient on the throttle once more. You try and stab at the power too soon and you're just going to get that bit of oversteer, shrug off that little bit of speed. Now, we haven't been having much luck across it. We've got the first couple of runs pretty good. I can't see, it just doesn't, now it's not wanting to give me any speed across that launch pad, which is a bit of a shame actually for the Ford. We were going, that was in between the left and the middle one and it didn't really seem to want to work out for the car. Will it be enough though? As we jump on the brakes into the final corner, try and get that power down up towards the line. It is! It's gone quicker! Celebratory drift through turn 1 and then a bit of a twitch into turn 2. The Sierra has gone fastest. The German domination at the top has been broken and it is, well, very much the touring car trifecta there. And that was with a poor run from the boost pads. That was with a poor run from the boost pads as well. For whatever reason, it just, yeah, it wasn't getting anything on the last 3 laps. Oh, it's close. It's very close at the top of the table. It is in fact, I say it is exactly 1/10 of a second faster than the BMW M3. That is pretty damn impressive from this car. A nice vehicle to drive. I had concerns about a potential lack of grip. While, yeah, the back end moved around, or could move around a fair bit, all it took was a little bit of throttle control, a little bit of patience, and it was very easy to carry a lot of corner speed in this car. Its acceleration was very good, despite not being the most powerful, and its top speed was, I think we saw 216, 217, when it actually got a good launch. I think on that one it's about 214. So, yeah, overall, a good balance between that acceleration, top speed, and handling, which is exactly what you need, which is why we see the Sierra top the table. It displaces that BMW M3. The Mercedes is now down to 3rd. Renault 5 falls to 4th. It's, yeah, a monstrous car. I mean, we're talking about a second faster than the Mitsubishi Eclipse and the Honda, or over a second faster, sorry, than the Eclipse and the Honda NSX. Yep, that's fast. That's fast, and a thoroughly enjoyable car to drive. So thank you everyone that suggested I have a go with this. We indeed have a new leader at the Hot Wheels Showdown. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.